So we might have an Easter egg in the making here, because it was discovered that in the comprehensive rulebook of Magic, which by the way is like 800 pages large. It's something stupid enormous. There happens to be an F just in the middle of nowhere. It's like finding, like, I don't know, this one cactus in this entire desert. Like, it's so out of place and strange and has no purpose whatsoever and stands out like a sore thumb. What is the purpose of this F? Did someone just accidentally touch the keyboard? Was it actually formatted for some reason? Well, we have, actually, Mark Rosewater has a theory to this. We don't exactly know 100% what is the purpose of this. Mark Rosewater was proposed. Morrow's take on the F in the rulebook. Have the rules managers, Matt, Ellie, and Jess, been informed of the extra F that was placed in the comprehensive rules for Cleave? And Mark Rosewater responds, I think the rules manager are very slowly revealing a secret message in the comprehensive rules. You got that, people? Maybe they're pressing F to pay respects to what's going on in Modern right now, with all the free spells and all the chaos. Either that, we gotta pay attention to that F, people, because it could be the first of a very long message that might be unraveled over, I don't know, the next 20 years. Anyway, thought I'd share that with you all. So welcome to Coffee and MTG, the morning show. We're going to talk Magic. You know what's the point of having a morning show about Magic if we're not going to talk about Magic? So welcome everyone. And what is also a morning show without sponsors like FusionGamingOnline.com. You know, they say it's Black Friday. What isn't it, like Cyber Monday now? Look, they said it's up until the 28th. What is it today? Today's the 29th because it's Cyber Monday. So they're not saying it right now, but they still have this deal going up. The Black Friday sale. It's never Black Friday up to the weekend. They always have the Cyber Monday. Do they have a Cyber Tuesday? Like, how long do they keep this going on for? And I know this deal works because I got some stuff not too long ago. I got some stuff from FusionGamingOnline.com. Now, the coupon code will not work this week because the deals are so damn good. What are those deals? If you spend 15, you get 15% off everything. You get an additional 5% off if you exceed $500 and an additional 5% off if you exceed 1,500. Or I think maybe the Cyber Monday deal is you get 20% off, but there's still big discounts at FusionGamingOnline.com. This is the time to get cards. I got my cards. I know what I want to get from them. Need to get, I always need actually unstable islands given away as Patreon rewards. That's one thing I'm always getting. But anyway, don't forget to use normally you use coupon code Nikachu to get an additional 5% off, but it won't work with the deal that is going on at FusionGamingOnline.com because that's too big of a deal. Too big of a deal. And we're also going to thank our other sponsor at Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. And if you just want to try the service out, by the way, you can do it for free. You can get a free 7-tick plan, get 75 cards, start off in the Pauper format, maybe even find out if Magic the Gathering Online is right for you. If you even want to like invest any more money into it, you can try that out with Mana Traders. But otherwise, you can rent cards with all these wonderful subscription plans, Base Premium Gold Ultimate. And to save yourself money, you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. A lot of good mornings here. Hey, Mikey J. Good morning, James. Good morning, Benji. Albert. Matt. Lord Magicus. For thousands of years, I lay dormant. Who has disturbed my slumber? Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Mareep. Nardoto. Good morning, Gold Medals, Darwin, Trevor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the amazing Wally. All for last. Good morning. Do you know the deal? 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your questions amongst all the comments I'm getting on all my social media channels. Don't forget, you can use Super Chats, however, on YouTube. Your question gets pushed to the top of my feed. All right, there we go. Wilk. Rules Committee is saying F's in chat for Splinter Twin. That's one theory. What do you think? If the F is to pay respects, what are they paying respects for? And maybe they know something that we don't. I'm sure they are entitled to rules knowledge 2 years in advance. before everybody else, because after all, the mechanics are being made in advance. They have to write the rules in advance. Papa Joe, what's a good budget replacement for Archmage's Charm? Is Counterspell good enough? Yes. It depends what you want it to do. Honestly, there is no replacement to Archmage's Charm. I mean, if you need a Counterspell, just play Counterspell. If you need to steal creatures, Entrancing Melody would be the next best thing, but you can't play that one at instant speed, though, unfortunately. Alejandro. Good evening, Nikachu. What do you think of Amulet Colossus getting first place in the challenge? I think people have been sleeping on Amulet, and that's all I have to say about it. I'm not... So there's that new Colossus card, right? I'm not sold on this card. Amulet's played a lot of weird stuff in their deck. Which Colossus? Oh, this Cultivator Colossus. Trample, Power and Toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. In an Amulet, that can be a lot. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. Well, maybe that can get out of control. Yeah, maybe that can actually get out of control. There are a lot of lands in the Amulet deck, so draw a land, play a land, draw a land, play a land, draw a land. You just keep going, and basically until you hit something good. Oh, maybe this deck card is actually a little bit better than I thought, now that I think about it. But they've, like, Amulet's jammed, like, a lot of big random stuff in their deck, and whatever. It's the soul of the Amulet deck is that it's an Amulet deck. It's a Primeval Titan deck. That's what's carrying it, in my opinion. A morning show without sponsors sounds like a vlog. Oh yeah, a vlog with coffee to me. That's right. Nardoto, it was your gameplay yesterday. You conceded when the player cast Hammer on the Inkmoth with a creature to block. Inkmoth loses flying. No, I didn't do that. Okay, this is what happened, Nardoto. They attacked with their Inkmoth Nexus. They went to my blocker step. I didn't block. Then they cast the Hammer. Or did, like, I'm like 99% sure. I mean, I can go back. I don't know. Let's go look at the tape. Let's go look at the tape. How about that? We're gonna go look at the tape. See exactly what happened. I got the raw footage here. I gotta. Hey, Fish Fam. This is Nikachu. Hold on. The volume has to get killed. Can I find the exact spot? Where's our Hammer Time opponent? Was it this league? Oh no, it's the wrong one. I'm gonna find the league, because I know what you're talking about. Is it this one? Nope. Is it this one? Where's the Hammer Time player? Either that. Okay, here we go. So either. Okay, is this the one? They kill me with the Inkmoth. Oh, I think it's here. I die. No, is it here? No, I don't die here. Or was it back here? When do I die to this ink? Do I play against Hammer twice? Oh, I do. We're gonna look at the tape. I can't find this all of a sudden. At 440? Well, at 440 for you is different for 440 for me. I have no idea where in my stream that was. Oh, was this it? I see an attack by Inkmoth Nexus. Where is this attack? Where is this Inkmoth attack? I remember there was an Inkmoth, and I'm pretty sure they flashed in a Hammer. It was like before I could do anything. What the hell? Where is this Hammer match? Yeah, like if they really needed to, they can pay another one. But the way I remember this was they attack with the Inkmoth Nexus. They go to the blocker step. I don't block. Then they flash in hammer, and like I can't block. I can't block. So I would look again if I mean maybe I'm wrong, because that is usually what's supposed to happen. What day can we watch the best matches of all time according to Reed Duke? Well, the best matches. What is it? The best matches of all time, or his best matches? There's a difference between the two. There's a difference between the two of them. Where on earth? Is this hammer match? Or, well, hold on. Or was it when I was playing the, the vampire deck? Oh, maybe it was when I was playing the vampire deck. Is that how I died? I'm so determined right now. I shouldn't be looking at this. Okay, in this case, I'm able to block. Those merfolk. Why don't I have it? I don't see it. I don't have it in my inventory. I don't have it in my inventory. Anyway, I can't see it right now. I would, if you've got the clip, I would double, triple check to make sure that I was not, like, I'm in the blocking step, but you're allowed to play spells and abilities in that blocking step. Where's the song from? Banjo-Kazooie. And actually, to get back to this question about, are we going to watch the best matches of Reed Duke? I'm going to showcase matches that are not too complicated. I'm actually really selective of what matches I'm going to be showing on the main channel. Or I don't know, I mean, if you wanted to watch it on here. A lot of people did not like to watch the Blue Moon thing, unfortunately. Maybe it has to be played without sound, but it was not too popular. People just prefer to hear questions and answers for the most part. So I can't find it right now, Nardoto. I'll find it later. Gustavo, in a tournament full of Burn, Hammer, Amulet, Murktide, and Jund, what deck you recommend to play? Burn, Hammer, Amulet, Murktide, and Jund. There's no real rhyme or reason to any of these decks. Burn, Hammer, Amulet, Murktide, and Jund. So there's one attrition-based deck. Basically 3 combo decks. Maybe Blue-Eye Control. I don't know. Control may not be that great against Amulet either. I still might go with Blue-Eye. I don't know. It's a pretty diverse metagame. I mean, you got a little bit of everything. It might be might be in your best interest to just play a deck that's fast, that can try to hammer through all this stuff, like Hammer itself. Yes, the best matches according to Reed Duke. Oh, Shahar versus Levy. I will be only overall making videos about matches that are like easy for people to comprehend. There's a lot of really complicated matches out there. Anyone here used to collect pogs? It's funny you say that. I was just talking about my brother. I was like, what if we were big influencers and we just drove up the price of pogs? It's funny you mention that. Like, I definitely did play with this stuff when I was a kid. Exactly these things over here. So, like, but the point was, you know, everyone's looking for the next big collectible. So, like, what if I started making a bunch of videos about, oh, I've got all these pogs. Oh, I spent this much money on pogs. The price of pogs are going up. Is it possible to move the pog market? Now, I'm not big enough of an influencer, but let's say, like, Logan Paul decides to get into pogs all of a sudden. But then, even if pogs got big again, like, how... The weird thing about Pogs is that you're supposed to, like, slam them with a slammer in order to flip them over, so the most collectible ones should be damaged anyway. What if Pogs got big again? You know? You're basically always intentionally damaging your Pogs. Turn your videos into NFTs. Pogs look like something you would put NFTs on. Like, oh, it's NFT pictures. Yeah, this looks exactly like something that would show up on a Pog. Somehow the NFT community should try to make Pogs big again. Ah, these stupid pictures. You had a Pog maker? It's impressive. I had a kit to make your own Pog. I didn't know that thing existed. I had no idea. Not even Logan Paul could make Pogs popular again? Hey, don't underestimate the power of Logan Paul. He can do anything. EA made new copies of Skate 3 because of PewDiePie, so it's possible someone single-handedly could bring them all back. Only for a flash of a second, and then everyone will realize, oh my god, there's a million Pogs out there. This is pointless. Yeah, collectibles. Very exciting. Just to get back to that Ink Moth thing again, Ink Moth can give itself flying again if it needs to. Maybe I missed a block. I don't think I missed a block, but if I did miss a block, I just assume my opponent can just activate Ink Moth again, unless they were unless they were tapped out of mana. That's possible. I remember this scenario, but I don't know why I can't find it in my footage. Is Abzan Stoneblade competitive at least than 50 people tournaments? Yes, of course. And the person to follow is Co-Diamonds. Let's go find Co-Diamonds. This is the guy championing. What's it called? Abzan Stoneblade. And yeah, I mean, he does market himself as the Abzan guy. Haha. You can find him at YouTube, Co-Diamonds. Or also he streams on Twitch at Co-Diamonds. K-O Diamonds. Look at that. Should have played Abzan. Got 11th at the Mana Traders event. Abzan Saga feeling great as usual. I don't know what his latest deck list looks like. But, where's your list? If you publish anything, you got something? Oh, here we go. Is this it? This is not what I was expecting. But it's a Saga deck. Alright, so Stoneblade. But he's played many Stoneblade decks, so I would definitely go to him to see what he's up to for Stoneblade if you want some Abzan Stoneblade advice. And we've got a super chat. Vaughn Mitchell, thank you so much. Started playing True Burn, no creatures. Oh god. It's fun versus decks with a lot of removal. Any thoughts on creatureless decks? What decks are, like, genuinely creatureless these days? Well, ad nauseum isn't really super big right now. I think you still need some creature to help carry you a little bit. I always thought about taking, like, the Goblin Guide and Swiftspear and Burn and just playing with Eidolon, just to see how that would work out. Because, like, after, you're probably figuring out yourself, they just die anyway to removal. So why just replace a 1 damage or 2 damage creature spell with like an actual, with actual burn spells. Yeah, Charbelcher is a creatureless deck. There we go. Oh, that burns people big time. You want the ultimate burn deck right now that's creatureless. It's Charbelcher. Anyway, I do think it's worth experimenting, given the abundance of removal. But then there's a lot of decks. I mean, sometimes I wonder, what if we sideboarded the creatures? Because they are valuable versus, like, control decks. If you play against a control deck with no creatures, you are crushed. There's no way you're winning, because they'll just start countering your burn spells, and you don't have any long-lasting damage. But what if we sideboarded the creatures? What if we did that? That's a possibility, right? Couldn't we sideboard the creatures and have some of those sideboard cards in the main deck? Like, I don't know, Lightning Helix, or I don't remember what else is in the sideboard. That's a burn spell. But, basically that's the theory. That's the idea I have. So experiment it with to see if it works. If it works, keep doing what works. If it doesn't, go back to the creatures. I'm almost done building Merfolk. Should I get Chalice or Force Negation first between the two? I would get Force Negation. Like, I think Chalice of the Void a very good card right now, but I don't think Merfolk can protect it. Like, I just don't think Merfolk can protect it. So it's either worth playing in the main deck, which I don't think it is. Well, it's okay, actually. Maybe it's fine in the main deck, but you can't defend it post-board. That's the way I look at it. Isn't Lotus Field combo deck Creatureless? Don't they have a Boreal Grazer? I could be wrong, but I think they have a Boreal Grazer. Amber just coming to say hi. Thank you very much, Amber. Played against Blood Control on Yawgmoth, and my Yavimaya and Urborg gave him colors to Prismatic and my Yawgmoth. Oh, God! So you're up against... Okay, so they were like a 3... Usually Blue Eye Control has like 1 Triome, right? So that's interesting. And your Urborg ended up working for the opponent. That sucks. Hey Nikachu, I've been getting good results with Reckless Impulse and Burn. Thoughts on Reckless Impulse? Exile top 2 cards of your library until end of turn. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. I think it's clunky, but I guess it's possible. You know, if this card is so... Oh, I'm guessing you're in, like, red... You're in Boros Burn, right? Yeah, okay. I mean, we know Expressive Iteration is, like, a tier 1 card. The only deal with this is usually Burn doesn't have a lot of time. But maybe Burn has time right now to do this. Maybe Burn has time. But hold on, how is this any better than, say, Light Up the Stage? If anything, Light Up the Stage is, like, infinitely better. It costs 1 mana, and you can play them until your next turn. This has to be, like, way better, right? I mean, worst case scenario, you pay 1 more. It is better than Light Up the Stage most of the time. What is it? Exile up to the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. Okay, so it's a similar deal. You can play it until the end of your next turn. So the only difference is that it just costs 2 mana, but it's always 2 mana. But you're a burn deck. This should be 1 mana very, very often. It's more playable when you can't deal damage to the opponent. You're a burn deck! What do you think you do? I mean, you should be fired if you can't deal damage to your opponent. You have 1 job. You have 1 job. 1 job! Yeah, but you're Burn. And Burn doesn't play Light Up the Stage. I would have to see this in action. Like, maybe it's better. In a really weird way. But this looks just better to me. But maybe it's not, because, like, hey, this costs 1 red, but only if you've already spent mana this turn. You know, dealing damage some other way. Whereas this does not require that at all. You just cast this thing and cast the burn spells next turn. Yeah, you have bigger problems than Spectacle cost if you could not burn the opponent. You have 1 job. Exile not top 2 cards. 1 job. I'm telling you, people. Anyway, I'd be interested to see this card get some results, but fact of the matter is, people tried Light Up the Stage and it just didn't work. Like, it's just not good enough. Burn, in a lot of matchups where you race, it's a big race between you and your opponent, you just don't have the time to spend mana that's not on burn spells. You just have to spend every source of mana on burn the opponent down. You spend some time to draw some cards, that's a turn. That could be the turn that your opponent just gets out in front. You're fired. You're fired, Burn. Not in the fiery way. Keith Stoltz, you hate Unearth, but there's so much counter magic and creature removal. Lurrus is a definite upgrade, but it's very similar to Unearth. Once your Lurrus is gone and no Unearth, you are fucked, right? What do you mean? I hate Unearth, but there's so much counter magic and creature removal. But yeah, but if there's so much counter magic and creature removal, why not just play another creature instead of Unearth? That's the problem with Unearth. Let's say you have no graveyard. What if you have nothing to unearth because, I don't know, your opponent has Rest in Peace, and then instead of drawing a creature, you draw an Earth? Or what if at the beginning of the game, you have a handful of Unearth and you don't have any creatures to deploy? Or what if your opponent doesn't have any removal spells, actually, and you're just playing creatures, and then you top deck an Unearth, and when you really needed a creature? See, it's a weird logic. My problem with Unearth, let's go look at Unearth. It's this weird, bizarro logic with Unearth. People, they're like, my creatures die, so I want to Unearth to bring back the creatures. Yeah, but what if this just was another creature? Now, I think you're getting at that you want to bring Lurrus. Lurrus is a definite upgrade, but it's very similar to Unearth. Once your Lurrus is gone and no Unearth, you are screwed. Or I was wondering... I was trying to figure out, do you want to unearth your Lurrus? Which is something you could do, which would be the only valuable creature to unearth. Lurrus is better than unearth because it is always a creature and you get to unearth something every single turn. That's the difference. Like, okay, maybe I understand exactly what you're getting at here. You're trying to compare this to Lurrus because Lurrus brings things from the graveyard to the battlefield, but that's not what is good. What is good is that Lurrus is an extra card, and on top of that, because that was an extra card, you get another free card from the graveyard, so you're up 2 cards. When you play Unearth, you're not up anything. You're actually up 0 cards, because you exchange the Unearth for a random creature, well, not a random creature, but a particular creature in your graveyard. Whereas Lurrus, you didn't pay any cards to get Lurrus. You get a Lurrus for nothing. Absolutely nothing for free. And then when you play Lurrus and get a card from your graveyard, you again spent nothing to get that creature. That is what's broken about Lurrus. Unearth, you're exchanging a card in your hand for a card in your graveyard. So you're actually up you're up no value. Nothing whatsoever. Like, that's my problem with Unearth. Just play another... I think playing another creature is best most of the time. Unearth just doesn't go in almost any deck in Modern. There are very few decks that can play Unearth. And when they do, they end up playing like 2 or 1 of the card. And that's why. And that's why Lurrus is played in every single deck. Because it's basically free. And it's massive card advantage. Whereas you take a look at Unearth, it's not card advantage. It's card parity. And it can backfire on you. It can be really clunky. But if you have no graveyard, or there's Rest in Peace with Lurrus, then what? Then you get a Lurrus for free. You have a random 3/2 creature. And what do you get if you have Unearth? You can cycle the card, but you're spending mana to do that. At least you have a random 3/2 creature. Who doesn't want that? Not bad. Not bad. You just grab a 3/2 lifelinker for nothing. Pretty good. I mean, and it didn't cost you anything. This card. No, okay. Now, not only can this card be clunky, but it also costs you a slot in your deck. Lurrus costs you like 1 slot in your sideboard. Anyway, yeah, I think if you. It's not a good comparison to compare Lurrus to Unearth, because this isn't even an argument. Lurrus is like infinitely better than Unearth. It's not even close. Unearth, I don't know what deck we need Unearth. I don't know what deck specializes in Unearth. There have been some, but they never stood the test of time, for the most part. Unearth is only good with Lightning Skelemental. Yes, good with Lightning Skelemental. Any other deck, it doesn't make any sense. And I put air quotes, good, because it's actually not good. Like, they've played it, but that deck didn't stand the test. It's janky. It's a really janky idea. The problem is that Lightning Skelemental doesn't deal long-term damage, because it dies. Mentor of the Meeks deck? Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less. I'm not high on this card. Anyway. Thanks for the help in the discussion. You're welcome. We'll call the Death Dweller. Well, I know. What is this? Call of the Death Dweller. Can't remember what this card does. Oh, this card. This card is actually has some upside because you can return. It is card advantage. I'm not in love with these types of cards, but this one sees a little bit of play in Historic, if I remember correctly. It's a bit clunky for Modern, but at least it's card advantage. You return 2 target creatures from your with total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and you put a Death Touch counter on them. And you can put a Menace counter on either of them. Oh, okay, so one gets a Death Touch, one gets a Menace. So this is a little bit more playable, but it's just clunky for Modern. But the card is like, in some environment, competitively playable. Maybe this can see play in Pioneer or something. Don't just... Oh, no, I'm not discounting. You get a 3/2 lifelinker. Super good. Comrade, what do you think... Oh, great avatar. It's awesome. What do you think of spells like Rapid Hybridization or Pongify in Mono Blue Merfolk? I don't know if I want to play them at F&M. A young fish needs your wisdom, ancient one. They're not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. I've played with them a little bit. I would say in an environment full of Delver-esque decks like Death Shadow, I don't really like this card very much, because whenever you want to target their creature, you sort of upgrade their creature, or they don't mind getting their creature destroyed. I think it's much better in an environment where the creatures are super enormous and very super few, so I think this is fine versus, say, a Primeval Titan deck, so I can blow up the stupid Primeval Titan for 1 turn. Or even Dryad of the Elysian Groves, which might be a problem if Valakut gets out of control. But it's best when they're targeting your creatures, and in response you like Pongify and turn into a 3/3. So it's like, it's playable, but it's not good. Let's put it that way. It's not competitive. Yet. It's not positioned in anyway. What are your thoughts on Smallpox Vampires? Will you upload a video of that, of the matches? Oh, I did play 1 match with Smallpox Vampires. I thought the Smallpox actually was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. And maybe if we build the Vampire deck around sacrificing our opponent's creatures, maybe this deck could get a lot better. I will upload the video eventually, though. Existential question. How few lords can you play in Merfolk and still consider it a tribal deck? 0. You could have 0. I've got a 5/0 without any lords before. Oh, maybe there's Mirror Regery. I don't remember. Maybe I had Mirror Regery. Okay, so maybe I actually haven't gone have a 5/0 without any lords, but you could in theory have 0 lords. You just need mass interaction and no island walk. 0 lords will do it. Maybe that's the next evolution of Merfolk. We just gut all the lords. Pure interaction. Depend on flying creatures for that evasive damage if we need to. Tantoro, will Ban of Bauble solve all of the meta problems? It attacks Hammer, Murktide, Urza decks, and Urza artifacts. Probably not, but I bet if you ban Lurrus, it would. Because I think if you hit Lurrus first, it would hurt Bauble. Oh, maybe it wouldn't hurt Bauble because of Urza Saga. I don't know. I don't know if banning Bauble is enough right now. Maybe. Maybe. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? You just have to ban it and find out. Unearth never stood the test of time as graveyard ability stapled onto creatures. What? Unearth never stood the test of time as a graveyard ability stapled onto creatures. I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Or the statement. Is it funny with Chain Whirler? Chain Whirly boy? What? Where did this conversation pop up from? Dr. Glass Bottle. Is Pioneer the new Modern? Is Modern the new Legacy because of all these price gabs? Jumps? What? Okay, so, but I understand the question. I think Modern is the new Legacy. I do believe that. I think that was the purpose of all this. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion because of the reserved list. The price of Legacy was pushing people out, and there's just no way to get... It's no way to sustainably keep that format up. And Star City Games could feel the pressure. People are buying less reserve list cards, or less Legacy cards, showing up less to the Legacy tournaments. The attendance got lower and lower and lower and lower. I can even see personally from my own local game store, the price of Legacy cards go up, so people are like, do you know what, maybe this is a good time to sell my deck. And then even if there is a big Legacy tournament, the prices went up even more, and they're like, well, I'm not going to buy in after I sold out for so much. So the people eventually sell out and they can never get back in because the prices keep going up. So what happens? Well, we don't have Legacy anymore. Now we have Modern. Modern is the new Legacy, the new eternal format, non-rotating format or whatever. So Modern is the new Legacy, but I wouldn't call Pioneer the new Modern. I would call Pioneer the new Pioneer. I think Pioneer is its own very unique format that's not even... It's just I think it's even slower than what Modern was when it started. If Pioneer tournaments will actually fire, though, they will fire eventually. They will one day. One day the Pioneer tournaments will fire. Wizards just not focusing on Pioneer right now because I think they want to keep it heavily a paper format. You should make a video of Ponyfolk, an introduction to Merfolk for people starting with the deck. Well, basically my budget decks are like that. It's like a cheap version of getting into the deck. Good luck. Begonomicon. How are you? I'm doing great. I'm awake and ready for Coffee and MTG. Why not fire in Pioneer tournaments there? What do you mean? I'm having a hard time understanding questions. Why not fire? Are you talking about do the tournaments fire, or are you talking about fire design? Personally, I don't think we have many Pioneer I'll answer it in two ways. There's no Pioneer tournaments here, and also I don't know if they want to introduce too many fire design cards into Pioneer outside of, like, you know, the standard cards. Finished judging my local Modern Monday event. Saw some Mardu and even 4-color Reanimator Yorion lists going around. Thoughts? 4-color Reanimator and Yorion lists. Every local game store has its own spice. Can it stand the heat of the top-tier decks from online? That's another question. Usually no, but sometimes things sort of squeak through at the Grand Prix level, like we saw with that Sultai Infect deck, which, as far as I know, hasn't stood the test of time because I've not seen any of those decks online. Or has that Sultai Infect deck is getting any results online? I don't know. Maybe it was just a one-off thing. Oh, you're talking about Oh, I see. Call the Death Dweller and Goblin Chainwhirler. Okay. Goblin Chainwhirler. Enter the battlefield. Deals 1 damage to everything and has Death Touch. Snipes it all down. Is Pioneer the new Extended? Well, no, because Pioneer doesn't rotate. I think Pioneer is its own format. I think it's just Pioneer the way it felt like big standard to me when I first played Pioneer. Just felt like a very big standard format. Cabby says Bauble and Lurrus should go. Bauble is strong in a vacuum and makes Delirium easy. Lurrus is card advantage engine that is a free ride. Yes, 2 free. Richard's like, what problem? There's no meta problem. Don't ban anything. Don't. I mean, there's some truth to that. I mean, well, I mean, we got a diverse meta, relatively diverse. Is Murktide coming back? I actually don't believe this. How the hell is there so many results for Murktide? Something must be flooding the results. Premier, Modern Challenge. Oh, recently it's got a lot of results. I'm not really seeing it that much, though. What I am seeing a lot is this 5-color Omnath Abomination. Is it really 5-color? Where's the black? This is bullshit. What's the black card in this? Oh, some are 5-color. BS. It's that is pure BS. This is really a 4-color Omnath. It is not named appropriately here. The problem is all the cards are outrageously stupid powerful. That's the problem. If that's a problem for people. But it is a non-rotating format, so expect super powerful cards. Ever consider Merfolk without Vial? Yes. Sort of now more than ever. Maybe in theory I should build a Vial... Well, I guess the only deck I get really punished for doing this is Burn. I guess. And if my opponent resolves a Teferi Time Raveler, then I'm really screwed. But I have considered it. Legacy is also being killed because of Delver. It's 22% of the meta right now, where the closest deck is only 6.2%. This is nothing new. This has happened before. But they did make bannings whenever that happens. Delver's just a really good deck. Always has been. Nikachu talking about no more 0-mana spells, and now we have 0-mana spells dominating Modern. Hammer is the best 0-mana spell deck, but truth be told, there's not... I mean, there are free spells. Solitude and Fury are basically free spells, but at the cost of a card. But overall, like, there's not many... Like, this is the only deck playing with 0-mana spells, right? Everything else... I mean, look at these Blink decks are really chunky. Look how chunky this is. When you look at the decks, things are expensive. People are paying mana. People... Look, we're in a point in Modern where people will tap out on turn 2 to, like, just look at a bunch of cards. Like, that's where we are right now in Modern. I think that's crazy. Pioneer doesn't have annoying Modern features like Blood Moon, Ensnaring Bridge, Tron, Primeval Titan. Yes, exactly. It's what makes Pioneer special. None of the annoying cards. Is Big Emrakul good in G-Tron sideboard? To fight against Mill? Yes. It's a good anti-Mill card. Trying to make a deck around the Rack with Waste Not and Burning Inquiry. Any ideas? None. That doesn't sound like it works at all. Why do you want Burning Inquiry in a Rack deck? But you'd want it with the Waste Not deck, I guess? Like, what's the point of the Rack? I don't think there's any point with the Rack. I don't see the point. Hold on, let's see. Look, what's Waste Not? What does Waste Not do? It's been a while since I looked at this card. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, add black black. Whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. You might... Are there a lot of cards that make both players discard cards? I don't think the Rack has anything to do with this combo, but I think this whole Waste Not Burning Inquiry idea has merit to it. I think maybe you could build something between, like, Waste Not, Burning Inquiry, and then maybe some sort of, like, wheel cards, where each player draws 7 cards, discards 7 cards, or something like that. You know, get both players to, like, draw and discard a bunch of cards. That might be the best way to abuse Waste Not. I have no idea how the Rack works, though. Like, they don't work together, as far as I'm concerned. Thoughts on 8 Rack? I'm like $10 away from having it, and I'm considering building it for F&M. If you play with Urza's Saga, I think this deck is great. I think this deck is good. It's underrated, and I think there's a lot of potential in this deck. Are you playing red-black with Kroxa? You're not? You're playing one of the older, uglier builds. I think the red-black one with Kroxa has a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of potential to 8 Rack, period, that no one's exploring. Fools. Just fools. Nikachu, additionally to Merfolk, what deck do you like in Modern? Shadow. I like them Shadow decks. I think Murktide is a pretty cool deck, too. Recently acquired all the Modern Merfolk stuff except Cavern and Force. Which should I pick? Get Force. I think. They're both pretty good. Usually Force is better because you can live without the land. But Cavern is sort of good right now to beat up on the other control decks. A lot of people are playing with Mystical Dispute these days. Loris and Bob will make for a crummy, prescriptive play experience. Not really. I mean, if you can kill your opponent before they get the Luris out, then, like, didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. Oh my god, we got a lot. People are just ramping it up. Liliana the Veil also makes everybody discard. True story. What time is it? You would know better than anyone else. You tell me. It's time for deck list review. So if you want your deck list reviewed, you like got a 75 want to share with us and, you know, maybe get some advice from the community, that's worth anything. It's, hey, it's free, right? You get what you pay for. Go into my description. There's a link to my Discord. Join the Discord. Then go to the channel deck list review and enter the command review !review deck space. Give the URL to your deck list. You'll be eligible at random for deck list review. Now, we do have a paywall deck list review today by Spencer Ward. So we'll get right into that. It's spoiler review time. We'll have to look at spoilers the next day. All right, so this is Spencer Ward's. I don't even know what this is. A Fauna Shaman deck. Wall of Blossoms, Eldrazi Displacer, Eternal Witness, Kitchen Finks, Night of Autumn, Skyclave Apparition, Elish Norn, Sarah's Emissary, Archon of Cruelty, Avacyn, Angel of Hope. Is this necessary? Avacyn and other permanents you control are indestructible. Well, it's not bad if you can get it out. Good luck prismatic ending that thing. Grizzlebrand, Iona. Well, we don't have a picture for Grizzlebrand. Thoughtseize, Collective Brutality, Ladimri's Call, Blood for Bones. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return another creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I guess this might work in a deck with all these creatures, and you're going to be sacrificing some of them with, what's it called, Fauna Shaman. But this is very expensive. In addition to paying 4 mana, I gotta sack a creature. And actually, it's not much value. It's basically we return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield, and then I get a rebate on the creature that I sacrificed. Like, I can bring the creature that I sacrificed back from the graveyard to the battle to my hand. Why no persist? Yeah, maybe persist you have to get like... Oh no, you can get persist, can't you? Because this will get non-legendary. Oh no, persist, it's only non-legendaries, so you can't use it. Non-legendaries only. Nope, 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 nope. We legends in this house. We be legends! Got Avacyn in here, Grizzlebrand and Iona. So it don't work. I don't like this card though. I really don't like this card. I really don't like this card. How does this deck win normally? Birds of Paradise, Fauna Shaman. Discard a card, Wall of Blossoms, Displacer. Discard a creature card, switch your library. I posted this one about a month ago and cleaned it up with your recommendations. Had some success locally, but haven't gotten that 4-0 yet at F&M. Okay, so the only weird card is this Blood for Bones. Like, is this necessary? Is this card good? Does this card, you know, work? Yeah, but Goro's Vengeance is only like a one-shot deal. You don't kill them, then the card goes away. I guess this card is... this card is trying to tutor things into play with, like, Fauna Shaman. But then the cards that you discard, bring them back with Blood for Bones. Okay, let's assume it works. I guess I have to really see this card in action. We can always make, like, recommendations after we play it. Field of Ruin, Forest, Gemstone Mine, Godless Shrine, Overgrown Tombs, two Plains, one Swamp, Temple Garden, Verdant Catacombs, Windswept Heath. We've got Phyrexian Revoker. Oh, I love the toolbox sideboard, that's for sure. Revoker, Oof, Aetherstorm Canonist, Ooze, Jailer, Eidolon, Core Firewalker, Samurai of the Pure Curtain. If a permanent would be put into a graveyard, remove it from the game instead. If a permanent would be put into a graveyard, remove it from the game instead. Doesn't this screw you? I guess you bring it in when it screws your opponent off over more. Aven Mind Sensor, Thalia, the big one. Fulminator Mage, Kira, Mirran Crusader. Is Kira necessary? Unburial Rites is better than Blood for Bones. Oh, that could be correct. Maybe we should be playing with Unburial Rites, not Blood for Bones. I actually like that a lot better. I like that. That's a great suggestion. Good old Unburial Rites. Oh, well, there is one problem. Playing this up front is harder. So how many ways do I have to discard a card? How many ways can we... Because, like, we do need to play it for 4 mana, not 5 mana up front. We have to discard a creature card here. We have no way to, like, discard cards. Blood for Bones is a value engine with Eternal Witness. It's a bad recurring nightmare. Okay, we're going to try it. I am a little sus of some cards in the sideboard. Like, I don't know what... Like, what's the point of Phyrexian Crusader? Like, what's the point of Kira? Mirran Crusader, I guess, is okay in the right matchup. Like, some of these sideboard cards just seem just strange. Like, maybe Kira is good. I don't know how it's going to play out. Resourceful Cleric over the Samurai. What is Resourceful Cleric? Resourceful. I don't know what this card is. Sorry about that, Benjamin. Oh, Remorseful Cleric. Exile. Oh, that one's a nice one. It's not permanent though. I don't know if it's necessarily better. Like, cause this creature's like a rest in peace, right? Samurai of the Pale Curtain. If a permanent would be put into a graveyard. Oh, but it's only a permanent, not even cards from the library. Interesting. It's a samurai. Is it better? What is this for? You know what? Because this doesn't have synergy with your deck, maybe we should play with the Remorseful Cleric. Okay, so we'll get rid of one samurai. Remorseful Cleric. We'll add one to the sideboard. Well, this is a creature-based deck. It's like, because you can grab things with, what's it called? That's the synergy. You can get creatures with Fauna Shaman. And also find them with the Ladimeri's Call. Greetings, Reiner. I don't know if Unburial Rites is better than Blood for Bones in this deck, because getting to 4 mana is a lot easier than getting to 5 mana. That one turn is everything in Modern. If we could dump the Unburial Rites, I think it's better, but we can't. There's no way of getting it into the graveyard. Oh, here, now we're thinking Endurance. Endurance is better than all this stuff. Okay, is there another graveyard card? Let's get rid of this Crusade. This makes no sense to me at all. We'll put an Endurance. The whole sideboard is a little bonkers, in my opinion. Kira is just... Great Glassbender is just for more protection for Fauna Shaman. I've had issues keeping Fauna alive in certain matchups, and especially post-board. Well, that's going to happen. You're a creature-based deck. Alright, we'll keep Kira. But you only have, like, one Kira. Esmo cookbook for discard. That's probably for another deck. I thought it was pronounced Allah Dam Rees Call. Hey, I don't know the correct pronunciation of all this stuff. Nobody does. What's late dinner? Is that an actual card? Oh, late to dinner. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a food token. That is interesting. But but as Spencer said, that the point of this deck is you can return things like Fauna Shaman. Not Fauna Shaman. Not Reclamation Stage. Where is it? Eternal Witness. From the graveyard to your hand. Like, you can sack Eternal Witness and bring it back to your hand, then replay Eternal Witness and get your stuff back. I wonder if this deck would play better with Ether Vial. As weird as that sounds. Guys, 140 viewers and 20 likes. Don't you get how the algorithm works, or you just hate your beloved content creators? Oh yeah, smash that like button if you love Coffee and MTG. That's all good. You can do whatever to the sideboard. It's a hodgepodge trying to answer everything. Yeah, I see that. I don't know if all subtlety works in this deck. There's not a lot of blue cards. I don't even know if there's enough blue to make this thing work. Is this birthing pod? No, this is more like Reanimator with extra steps, I would say. Or Reanimator with like a creature plan. Personally, I would have some like Kitchen Finks in here. I don't know if one is enough. Especially since you sack stuff all the time. You might be better off with more Kitchen Finks. Like, you have so many Reanimator targets for no reason. Some of these should be in your sideboard, and then some of them should, like a lot of them should be in your main deck. Like, I don't know the point of Grizzlebrand in the main deck. I doubt that you're gonna win on the spot with Grizzlebrand. It's not like you can combo off with Grizzlebrand anyway. Archon of Cruelty is a really good target. Sarah's Emissary is fine. That's also a really good target. Elish Norn in the right matchup can be a really good target. Avacyn, Angel of Hope, I think is probably just win more. Grizzlebrand's probably win more. Iona might be really good in the right matchup. You really love Priest of Fell Rites. I think this isn't I don't know if we have room for this card. Two, pay 3 life. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. And unearth. It's like, it's okay. The card is okay. Personally, I think it goes into a different deck. I think this card goes into a deck that's heavy on, like, super heavy on the Reanimator plan. This is like a weird toolbox deck that randomly reanimates things. We can produce blue with our Birds of Paradise. How often are we sacking creatures? Discard a creature. Collective Brutality, call, Blood from Bones. Okay, I'm gonna move some of this stuff. We're gonna move a Grizzlebrand to the Grizzlebrand is going to the sideboard. I don't even know if we should even have it in the deck. I'm just getting rid of this Avacyn, Angel of Hope. This can win the game on the spot. Okay, I'm just adding some Kitchen Finks. Does that work? 5. Yeah, that's still 60. And then we have to get rid of... I'll get rid of Grizzlebrand in here. So I'll add Grizzlebrand to the sideboard, because whatever. So you can search, but your opponent can't. Probably should have more Core Firewalker in here if you can afford it. Eidolon of the Great Revel? No. I don't know, does that work? It seems a bit too fancy to me. Okay, we have 16. We have too many cards on the sideboard. Goodbye, Mirren Crusader. Or maybe this is okay. Ugh, gotta get rid of cards. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of an Aven Mind Sensor. I don't feel very strongly. I don't even feel strongly about Grizzlebrand, but I'll keep it in there just in case. I have issues with becoming empty-handed in the past and getting blown out, which is why I started playing Grizzlebrand back in the day. Well, you gotta play with more value creatures, Spencer. Play with Kitchen Finks, then you won't be empty-handed as much. You just have to play with more value cards. I think that's the answer. Don't play... Okay, look, Spencer, if you're comboing off, then you should just win. Like, if you're working so hard to get this stuff in play, then you should just win on the spot. And I think Archon of Cruelty should be enough value for you overall. If you're comboing off and the payoff isn't there, then, I don't know, something was wrong with the entire deck design. But I think Archon of Cruelty should be enough in most circumstances. Alright, with that, I think this is how we're going to have it. And we're going to play it in my next stream. Alright, now we do a non-paid Decklist review. That took longer than I wanted it to because it's the damn toolbox deck. Alright, good luck, everyone. Black Vic, congratulations, you're the next contestant on Decklist review. We've got Abzan Stoneblade. Okay, we have Hexdrinker, Dothy Voidwalker, Stoneforge Mystic, Tarmogoyf Siege Rhino. So first things first, if you're going to play Stoneblade deck, play 4 Stoneblade. Like, what's the point of playing this card if you're not going to max out on it? You absolutely should have 4 Stoneblade in this deck. 2 Grist, 1 Kaya, 4 Fatal Push... Sorry, 3 Fatal Push, 4 Inquisition, 3 Prismatic Ending, 3 Thoughtseize, 1 Dam, Witherbloom Command, 2 Lingering Souls, Batterskull, Cauldron Complete. I would remove probably a Lingering Souls for a Stoneforge Mystic. And what are your... You have Batterskull and Cauldron Complete as your artifacts? Okay, I guess that's okay. You know what would probably put this deck over the top is if you played with Urza Saga. I think Urza Saga works pretty well with Stoneforge Mystic overall. Your mana base might become a little jank, but I think it would be overall worth it. Like, it's a better... I think it's better... It's more value than Lingering Souls offers. -1... Oh, you want to get rid of the Rhinos? Rhinos probably... I don't know how well Rhino is in this metagame. I think a lot of people are attached to this 4-mana card, which used to see play in Modern 8 years ago. What are you turning up with Saga? Easy. You're getting what even the Jund decks are doing is they've got like 1 Mishra's Bauble and 1 what's it called? Shadow Spear. So they get the Shadow Spear and you basically with golems, like you make a golem with Urza Saga, you make another golem with Urza Saga. Sorry, construct. I keep calling them golems. You make another construct, then you get the Shadow Spear, then you equip it, and then all of a sudden you've got like an artificial Siege Rhino. Where you've got like a 4/4 or a 5/5 creature that is attacking with lifelink and trample. Shadow Spear is fire. So like if you want to make them... I think like if it works for Jund, I don't see why it wouldn't work for Abzan. So I know you like the Siege Rhino, but probably the best thing you can do is just add another Stoneforge Mystic, add another Dothy Voidwalker, and maybe... And also, Urza Saga will pump up your Tarmogoyf because it's an enchantment. So this enchantment goes to your graveyard. So how about this? How many things you have to do on turn 1? You have a lot. Excellent. So how about take out the Rhinos, add another Stoneforge Mystic, Dothy Voidwalker, take out the 2 Hexdrinkers, take out 2 Lingering Souls, Add 4 Urza Sagas, 1 Shadow Spear, which can also be found by your Stoneforge Mystic if you need to. And take out 1 more card for 1 Mishra's Bauble, just so that you have another thing that you can tutor up with Urza Saga when you need to. And maybe that one last card will be... Maybe you can have 3 Dothy Voidwalker. Maybe you don't need so many Dothy Voidwalkers. Or you take out 1 land. I don't know what the land is that you're going to take out, though. And that will be a very clean deck. I think Urza Saga works really well with these sort of black-green X decks. It's already been proven in Jund. That's why it's called Jund Saga. Kaya probably not needed. Kaya seems like gas right now. Exile up to 2. You get to exile cards from the graveyard. You can exile a non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less. I think it's great. Maybe it's like a Liliana the Veil type of card right now. It doesn't protect itself very well, but there's a lot of 1 mana spells in the metagame. If this is uncontested, it will completely screw someone over. Were there any abrupt decays or assassin's trophies? Decay rocks against all this blue-red crap we have at the moment. Does it? It's clunky. They've got counter spells, and they get value out of it. Assassin's Trophy is not that good. Assassin's Trophy was being played basically because it was like one of your more overall best options, which still helped you versus Tron. It was like more of a Tron card than anything else. But other than that, it's like really bad value. It's just a bad removal spell. Although I have to say, Fatal Push sort of sucks too these days against all these big creatures that we're up against. Abrupt Decay can't be countered, that's true. I also think Kaya is better than Liliana the Veil, because you get to exactly target what you want to target. Also, you hit permanents, right? So it's you can hit like a hammer if it's on the battlefield. Or even, actually, the real value in this is hitting, what's it called? Sigardazade. They play Sigardazade? No. Exiled. Goodbye. So long, sucker. Vindicate's a bit clunky. I would go that Saga route though. I think it's more valuable than Siege Rhino, and I think you're going to end up getting the same board state that you wanted. Because once you get the Shadow Spear and you have your constructs on the battlefield, and also make no mistake, Stoneforge Mystic will also help keep your artifact count very high for your constructs. You will create like a trampling, life-linking creature that will deal damage to your opponent. Well, Abrupt Decay can't be countered, but Abrupt Decay can't hit like half. Well, I guess it hits a lot of the format, but there's a lot of stuff it can't hit. Although I have to say the same thing is with Fatal Push. You gotta be mana efficient in this format, people. Like, gotta be a little bit more mana efficient. Damping Sphere for what? Alright, let's look at the sideboard. 1 Fatal Push, 2 Pithing Needle, another Prismatic Ending, Veil of Summer, Collective Brutality, Kataki's War's Wage. Is that necessary? Is that gonna work versus Hammer? It might. Void Mirror, Ashok Dream Render, Kaya, another Kaya's Gal, Liliana Last Hope, and throw in the Last Troll. I don't know if Liliana is that great. What do you want this for? Seems very poor. If anything, I would have another Kaya, who's super. I would have a second one of those instead of a Liliana the Last Hope. The only drawback to Saga is if you have too many double-colored mana pips, and we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Look, we only have 1 dam in this deck. Anyway, Saga, baby. I think that's the way to take this deck. Anyway, take that advice to the bank. If you can cash it in for anything. Well, anyway, everyone, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG. Thanks for joining me. If I didn't get to your comments, questions, or deck list, hey, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. You love the channel, you want to support it, you can drop a sub at twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. Someone did drop a sub, actually. Well, what was this random person that dropped a sub out of nowhere? I want to give a thanks to the person who dropped a sub. Drag Noob 1, thank you very much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Really appreciate it. And also, you can become a patron at patreon.com/NikachuMTG. So thank you very much for joining me. Have a great day. See you all next time. Take care. And enjoy your morning.